especially on Incredible Miracles.
Yeah.
But on top of that, like, he's been showing just really pristine control throughout all of WCS. He's been stuck in that challenger limbo. But this is his stage, he says. This is his stage to finally showcase his skills.
I'm really excited to see him playing this well in this series against the absolute best of the best. His control in that first game is going to give him this huge surge of confidence on, again, a very unstable opening game map. So, up in the top left-hand corner, the unlikely semifinalist who still finds himself here up against the master of ZVZ with a 1-0 lead. It is Byul.
In the bottom right-hand corner, the StarCraft 1 Brood War legend, the Tyrant. It is the Dong. And boy, oh boy.
Wow. This is like schoolyard Zerg vs. Zerg, where it's like, I know you are, but what am I? Like, if you 10-pool me, I'll just 10-pool you. Got him. Actually, both players going for a 9-pool this game. I actually do like early pool with gas on this map, even though Byul doesn't, due to the fact that this is a huge open ramp, and even though it's very easy to think that this ramp and this natural expansion are close enough, in Zerg vs. Zerg, this is miles away, due to the fact that you need creep spread to join these two together for queens, for spine crawlers. Any early aggression to lock your opponent out of that good creep spread is amazing.
Or even queens can assist in defending the hatchery if there are Zerglings surrounding there, because they don't want to get out of that position. They want to block that ramp to make sure nothing's behind there.
Yeah, I mean, queens off creep run about as fast as I do, so
yes.
You absolutely need that creep there. Byul going straight for the second queen, as is Jaedong. The real questions coming up is who is going to be going for that gas first, who's going to be going for the expand, but it looks like both players are absolutely favoring the gas.
Yeah, this is kind of the build that's so popular on the Korean scene these days. Vibe was telling Mr. Bitter about this a little bit, and he was saying, yeah, it's a lot of times a lot better to be aggressive in the early stages. Even against macro builds, you're only up, maybe 1 or 2 drones, and a lot of times you can just end the game. So might as well go for this. And it's actually safer because you don't die to anything, really. You can always do damage.
Yeah, I mean, given how popular the 15 hatch has been, I mean, just from a metagame sense, you get some of those auto-default wins. But the real question is, how do these players play out the long term? I mean, already Byul is a little frustrated not to have gotten that clear scout in. Neither player really knows where the other is at. How do you safely pull out of this phase?
I think it's not exactly what you know about your opponent. It's what you kind of don't know about your opponent. No, that's wrong. It's the fact that they know that there's no expansion from both players.
Yeah, it's
so
like
you
an
just
impossibility.
say, just tech it. Just go Baneling, metabolic boost, and then kind of play defensive and wait until they make their move, because if anybody goes to aggress, you will have the defender's advantage, and you can take advantage of that. On top of that, you can just say, well, if they take their hatchery, I'll just take my hatchery a little bit behind there and be that aggressor to force out maybe a couple more Zerglings. I add in my drones. It all works out pretty evenly.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, this early game looks nearly identical to the way the old hatch first used to look, where you'd be primarily droning, you'd get banelings for defense, except the only difference here is that there's no second hatch. That's why the scouting's so important in this phase, because if your opponent goes for a roach bust, it's a very easy to lose position. So one base roach versus one base, mainly baneling, is definitely going to be favoring the roach.
Scout helps out Jaedong a little bit in that he sees he can safely drone up. He was behind in about 4 workers at one point, which means a lot, but he's catching up. And because of that, Byul is saying, well, I have to be careful because there can be some potential aggression. No natural going down for Jaedong right now. I'm a little bit worried for him because the natural has gone down for Byul, and obviously he'll have the economic lead.
You know, how did Byul do this? Because, like, I'm clicking around. I'm trying to see what each of these players has. I think Byul just let some larva stock pile up because, I mean, Jaedong has just...
Behind the shrubbery.
Yeah, Jaedong only has a little bit more supply. Jaedong actually has to do huge damage in this push if he wants to catch back up.
Nice control, just sending a small amount of forces to kill that Zergling, or the Baneling, rather. And now Banelings for Byul will come in here. Well, probably... Oh! It doesn't look like any good connections will happen. You don't really expect any money engagements for either player of this caliber.
Well, Jaedong is amazing at getting inches away from those Banelings and then doing absolutely, or receiving absolutely no damage. More Banelings coming from behind. Jaedong, be careful. Jaedong showcasing amazing control, and this is the problem with that creep spread. How did Jaedong pull off this one? Oh, Jaedong very nearly pulled off that one, but of course, when Zerglings run straight into Banelings, bad things happen. So Byul is slowly stabilizing, but again, how did Byul get this much of a lead? His hatch is so much earlier than his opponents. It's that big queen pickoff that's going to let Jaedong have the lead.
But he killed the queen, but he still has another queen there, so he afforded that somehow.
Possible?
I don't know. But I see another queen in the units tab right now. Is he producing another? No, he's not, but still he's able to maintain this equivalency with his opponent. I think he spent a little bit more gas, but that's pretty negligible at this stage of the game. I feel like Byul is just walking away with this with a much better build.
Yeah, Byul has somehow carefully managed the teensiest, tiniest bits of his economy to be able to get light years ahead of Jaedong in terms of all the little factors.
Yeah.
Has an extra queen. Jaedong did kill off the first one, but I mean, Jaedong hasn't even gotten to a second queen once this game. Jaedong has to apply more damage.
Roach Warren going down too for Byul. How do you feel Roach Warrens exist in this early stage? I almost feel like that's so unconventional, especially from all the one base aggression that we've had.
Yeah, at the same time, though, roaches have a lot more potency because what's the usual response to a big roach bust? Throwing down a bunch of spine crawlers. You can't do that when you started off one base and don't really have that many drones. So you force your opponent to build way more Zerglings than he's comfortable with, or way more spines than he's comfortable with early on.
And you even see, oh, 2 Banelings popping in.
Oh!
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Whoa.
Wasn't bad. Still a lot more Banelings left, and 4 roaches on the way out. Remember, they 2-shot these Banelings. So Byul has very strong micro. He'll be able to really just dissect this incoming attack, but does he have enough time to get those roaches out? That's the big question.
Well, it looks like Jaedong is not going to give him that much time. He needs to kill off these remaining eggs, and he does.
Kills a lot of Zerglings, but here come the roaches, and the queen will be able to tank a little bit here. I think it will go down, yes, barely, but here the Banelings come in. Oh.
Jaedong is chasing him down on creep and is going to get some decent pickups.
Total
Drone
of 6
lead now
drones.
goes to Jaedong.
6 drones go down there. Is it going to be enough, though? A lot of roaches still on the field. Banelings are being morphed. Can he get the surround? I don't think it's large enough.
Oh, my God. He's going to rush by. There's a lot of very low health drones up in here. Jaedong's going to go straight for him. Oh, no. He loses track of his units. He's trying to do some cutesy micro in the expansion and loses out on a couple of those key vulnerable drones. And now Jaedong has to stay alive versus the huge counterattack. We see a lot of roaches coming in. 7 right now. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but in this early game, Zerg vs. Zerg, there's only 6 lings for Jaedong.
Yeah, and a lot of those lings need to be morphed into Banelings immediately. You need Baneling defense, but right now the roaches are going to approach. He doesn't have time to overwhelm his opponent. Not enough queens. This is looking so hard for Jaedong to defend. Immediately targeting the Banelings, getting good connections. And I think Byul is going to take it once again.
Oh my God, Byul is just in dominating form, knows these build orders in and out. Jaedong's a little bit too greedy in this match, but Jaedong is known for his incredible control in these circumstances. All 7 roaches are still alive, and I don't know if Jaedong has enough.
He just lost his last queen in this. His inject is going to finish here, but he knows it's over.
Wow.
Byul, holy moly. Mirror builds in the beginning stages, getting extractors at the same time, and then just showing this large disparity in the build with getting his, somehow, an extra queen and an extra hatchery before his opponent saying, okay, I don't have to spend this larva cycle.
Yeah.
Let's just wait a little bit. That is so cool.
It almost seemed like Byul was using some like some invisible ghost drone, or was like taking out like some lone mid game to actually get that much money.
Yeah.
I mean, he got about an extra 500 or 600